Welcome back everyone. Here we are going to discuss about second lecture of laws of motion. In first lecture we already had discussion on n number of things like laws of motion, their importance, types of motion, fundamental forces, their properties, inertial, non-inertial frame of references, conservative, non-conservative, contact, non-contact, and real and pseudo force too. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about these few things. Okay, let's start with the first point, work done by variable force. As we all know that work done is given by force into displacement, that is vector F dot vector S. According to definition of vector and scalar product, F dot S can be written as Fs cos theta, where theta is angle between this applied force and displacement. This formula is applicable only if both force and displacement are constant and finite. Here we are going to discuss same thing or work done for two different conditions. One is by non-linearly varying force and one is by linearly varying force. Now here we can see in projectile motion and motion in a plane, we already had discussion that if I consider this is linearly varying force at that time, I can find out the total work done of this particular area by finding out the area of this A, S1, S2 and B. If I draw one straight line over here, I'll get two different parts. One is triangle, one is rectangle or square as per their measurements. I can find out this work done by using the area of this triangle divided by plus area of this rectangle or square. Or I can find out direct area of A, S1, S2 and B. I'll get overall work done by this linearly varying force. But it is not similar for non-linearly varying force because of when we consider the variation of force F plotted against corresponding displacements in its direction S bar, we need to calculate the work done by this force during displacements from S1 and S2. As the force is variable, S2 minus S1 करना directly possible नहीं होगा. Now what to do? We have to use integration. Let us divide the displacement into a large number of infinitesimal displacements and consider the small strips of that particular displacement. Now when you consider these small strips, at that time as the force is constant, the area of this strip is F dot S is the work done for this particular displacement. Now we can obtain the overall by using integration, that integration of F dot ds, which varies from S1 to S2. The area under curve between S1 and S2 also gives the work done, as it consists of all the strips of ds between S1 and S2. So for the non-linear varying force, we are going to use the integration form, that is integration of F dot ds varies from S1 to S2. And for this linearly varying force, we are going to discuss that term in the form of direct area of this. For example, हमने यहाँ पे जो लिया है A, S1, S2, B, it can be anything, it can be of any shape of particular area. Moving towards next point of the same thing, that is work energy theorem. We are going to discuss about work energy theorem. If there is a decrease in the potential energy due to a conservative force, it is entirely converted into kinetic energy. As we discussed that if there is a decrease in potential energy, at that time work done by the force then appears as a kinetic energy. Exactly opposite to this, if an object is moving against a conservative force, its kinetic energy decreases by an amount equal to the work done against the force. This principle is known as work energy theorem. In short, work done is equal to the change in kinetic energy. There are two conditions. If the net work is positive, the kinetic energy increases. If the net work is negative, the kinetic energy decreases. Let's start with the small derivation. We know that if we consider an object of mass m moving with velocity u, that is initial one, experiencing a constant opposite force F bar, and which shows it down to V dash during displacement S. As initial velocity and force are oppositely directed, the entire motion will be along with the same line. We know that A is equal to F upon m, that is F is equal to ma. We know that V square is equal to U square plus 2as. According to that equation, we can write V square minus U square is equal to 2as. As acceleration for opposing force we are denoting, so A will become minus A, so it will become minus 2as. Let's multiply the equation throughout by m by 2, will get m by 2 U square, m by 2 V square, m by 2 2as. So half m U square minus half m V square is equal to, यहाँ पे 2 gets cancelled, it will remains MAS. Now MA is equal to F S as it is. So half mv square minus half mu square is equal to F dot S. So in this case, you can prove that net work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Just go through that once within a minute. Moving towards next point. Principle of conservation of linear momentum. According to Newton's second law, force is equal to the rate of change of linear momentum. This same statement we can state it as, there is no resultant force, the linear momentum will not change or remains constant. So, according to that, the momentum of particle is sum of vector of moment of n particles. That is, if I consider the momentum of system is P, for n particles I can write it as the Pi summation of I goes to 1 to n. If P is equal to mv, then summation of I goes to 1 to n is given by mivi. If there is no external force acts on this system, the momentum will remains constant. That is, if F is equal to 0, P will be constant. This is known as the principle of conservation of linear momentum. In accurate form, the statement will be like the total momentum of an isolated system is conserved during any interaction. We are going to discuss this particular thing with two different cases. One is for free body diagram and one is for free body equation. Here you can see, first of all we are going to discuss about free body diagram. We are going to discuss about 2 kg mass, and the 5 kg mass discussion or explanation is there in your textbook. You can go through that. In this, we are going to consider a is the upward acceleration. According to Newton's second law, we can find out the resultant vertical force on this mass, and due to that force only, this upward acceleration acted on that particular body. To find out this force, we have to find out all individual forces acting on this mass. The agencies exerting forces on this mass are earth and force due to the tension. Now, downward force we are going to consider as the 1 gram, and the force due to the tension is T3. In this case, the lower half of the string is connected to the 2 kg mass, and this T3 is lower part of the string is upwards, as you can see it over here. Upper part of the string is connected to the 1 kg mass. Thus, the direction of T3 for 1 kg mass will be downwards. It will appear only for the free body diagram of the 1 kg mass and will not appear in the free body diagram of 2 kg mass. The force equation according to the Newton's second law of motion for this 2 kg mass will be T3 minus 2 gram is equal to 2A. T3 minus 2 kg is equal to 2A. Similarly, the equation for this 5 kg mass will become T1 plus F sine 60 is equal to 5 kg. T1 plus F sine 60 is equal to 5 kg. Method 2, that is free body equation. For the first body, you can see that T is vertically upward, m1g is vertically downward. We know that the upward acceleration is A. So this A is vertically upward and acted with tension T. So this will become T plus m1A is equal to m1g, or you can write T minus m1g is equal to m1A. Similarly, for second body, this sphere is larger than first one. So m2g having value greater than T. So m2g minus T is equal to m2A. By adding 1 and 2, we'll get T minus m1g plus m2g minus T is equal to m1A plus m2A. T gets cancelled. m2g minus m1g is equal to A into bracket m1 plus m2. When we solve it for A, you will get m2 minus m1 upon m2 plus m1 into g. When you solve it for T, you will get T is equal to m2 g minus A is equal to 2 m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into g. So this is all about work energy theorem, then conservation of linear momentum and free body diagram and their equations. Let's move towards next point, it is collision. When number of objects come together, interact and scatter in different directions, that particular process is called as collision. There are two basic types of collision, that is elastic and inelastic. There are few differentiating points in between. Both momentum and kinetic energy is conserved in elastic collision. Only momentum, not kinetic energy, in elastic collision. No loss of kinetic energy. Here, loss of kinetic energy. The forces involved are conservative in nature. The forces involved are non-conservative in nature. Mechanical energy is not dissipated. Here, mechanical energy is dissipated into other forms like heat, sound, light, etc. In this part, there is one more type, that is perfectly inelastic collision. Now, if colliding bodies join together after collision, it is said to be perfectly inelastic collision. We are going to consider head-on collision also. We are going to consider coefficient of restitution also and their derivations. Let's start. First of all, the basic point is coefficient of restitution. For collision of two objects, the negative of ratio of relative velocity of separation to the relative velocity of approach is defined as coefficient of restitution. Here, E is equal to V2 minus V1 upon U1 minus U2, where U1 and U2 are initial velocities of the two colliding bodies and V1 and V2 are final velocities after collision. Now, underline these values. These are very important values for your MCQ. For elastic collision, E is equal to 1. For inelastic collision, E will be between 0 and 1. And for perfectly inelastic collision, A will be 0. If V1 and V2 be their respective velocities after collision, the relative velocity is given by V2 minus V1. As the definition of coefficient of restitution, it is the negative of ratio, so minus Vs upon Ua. Value of Vs is V2 minus V1, again for negative, divided by U2 minus U1. So this will become V1 minus V2 divided by U2 minus U1. You can take it this form also, you can take it this form also, or you can keep this minus sign directly as it is. So minus of V2 minus V1 upon U2 minus U1, anything. Now, UA is equal to U1 minus U2 and Vs is equal to V1 plus V2. So E will become V1 minus of V1 plus V2 upon U1 minus U2. So according to this, you can write U1 plus V1 is equal to U2 plus V2. And finally, substituting these all values, your equation become minus of U2 minus U1 upon U1 minus U2, which is equal to 1. This is for elastic collision. Moving towards next, we are going to discuss about coefficient of restitution during a head-on collision, head-on elastic collision. Here we are going to consider collision described about to be elastic. According to the principle of conservation of linear momentum, you can write as total initial momentum is equal to total final momentum. So you can just go through these all things. Relative velocity is V2 minus V1. Linear momentum of two balls before collision M1 U1 plus M2 U2. After collision M1 V1 plus M2 V2. If it is conserved, then P1 is equal to P2. So M1 U1 plus M2 U2 is equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2. Let's separate it for M1 and M2. It will become M1 V1 minus M1 U1 is equal to M2 U2 minus M2 V2, or M2 V2 minus M2 U2 is equal to M1 U1 minus M1 V1. Let's take M2 common, you'll get V2 minus U2. Let's take M1 common, you will get U1 minus V1. Then before collision, the kinetic energies are m1 u1 square half m1 u1 square plus half m1 here. It's mistake. It's half m2 u2 square. Total kinetic energy of two balls after collision is half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. As we know that in elastic collision, kinetic energy is also conserved with momentum. So you can write half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square is equal to half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. आई होप आपको समझ में आ रहा है. Now we are going to combine the values of m1 and m2 at one side. So half m2 यहाँ पे ऐसे ही रखो, v2 स्क्वायर यहाँ से जो u2 स्क्वायर आएगा निगेटिव होगा, हाफ m2 v2 स्क्वायर माइनस u2 स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू हाफ m1 u1 स्क्वायर यहाँ से जो निकलेगा माइनस v1 स्क्वायर. हाफ हाफ गेट्स कैंसिल, it will remain m2 v2 square minus u2 square is equal to m1 u1 square minus v1 square. Now we are going to divide this equation 5 by equation 2. You can see it over here. You will get m2 v2 square minus u2 square divided by m2 v2 minus u2 is equal to m1 u1 square minus v1 square divided by m1 u1 minus v1. As we all know that a square minus b square is equal to a plus b, a minus b. So this equation will become u2 plus v2, u2 minus v2. Same here, u1 plus v1, u1 minus v1. These both terms gets cancelled. These both terms gets cancelled. Remaining terms v2 plus u2 is equal to u1 plus v1. So you can write v2 minus v1 is equal to u1 minus u2. So after solving these all, you'll get again for elastic collision, the coefficient of restitution is equal to 1. So v2 minus v1 upon u1 minus u2, in place of either u1 minus v1, you can substitute v2 minus v1, or v2 minus v1 की जगह u1 minus u2, you'll get the value as 1. So for elastic collision, the coefficient of restitution value is 1. Okay, moving towards next point, we are going to find out expression for final velocities after a head-on elastic collision. Here, just take small summary of previous equation. As per we know that the kinetic energy is conserved in elastic collision. You can see here, we already have this equation u1 minus u2 is equal to v2 minus v1. आपको याद रह जाए इसलिए वापस सम पार्ट यहाँ पे हमने प्लेस किया हुआ है. According to this, v2 is equal to u1 minus u2 plus v1. Now we are going to substitute this value of v2 in equation 4. In place of v2, we'll substitute. So m1 u1 minus v1 is equal to m2. And in place of v2, we are going to substitute this value u1 minus u2 plus v1 minus u2 as it is. So this will become m1 u1 minus m1 v1 is equal to m2 u1 minus 2 m2 u2 plus m2 v1. Now for v1 सारे terms एक साथ कर लीजिए. m1 plus m2 here into v1 is equal to m1 u1 minus m2 u1 plus m2 u2. So you'll get value for v1. v1 is equal to u1 into bracket m1 minus m2 upon m1 plus m2 plus 2 m2 u2 divided by m1 plus m2. Similarly, you can solve it for v2. v2 solve करने के लिए बस आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? You have to take value of v1. v1 is equal to आपको यहाँ पे लेना पड़ेगा v1 is equal to u2 plus v2 minus u1. And you have to substitute that value in the place of v1. You will get value of v2. v2 is equal to 2m1 u1 upon m1 plus m2 plus u2 m2 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2. There are few particular cases for this. You can say the first case is if the bodies are of equal mass, that is m1 is equal to m2, we'll get v1 is equal to u2, v2 is equal to u1. Try to solve this. If colliding body is much heavier and the stuck body is initially at rest, that is m1 is much greater than m2 and u2 is equal to 0, you'll get m1 plus minus m2 is nearly equal to m1, and m2 upon m1 plus m2 is nearly equal to 0. Try to solve it again. The body which it struck is much heavier than the colliding body is initially at rest. So you will get these all values after putting these values in given equation, these equations, and you will get value of V1 and V2. Last point of this lecture, that is loss in kinetic energy during a perfectly inelastic head-on collision. As we all know that there is a loss in kinetic energy in perfectly inelastic collision. So we are going to find out that value only कि कितना kinetic energy loss हो रहा है. For this we are going to consider a perfectly inelastic head-on collision of two bodies having masses m1 and m2, and their initial velocities are u1 and u2 and final are v1 and v2. We are going to consider the conservation of linear momentum according to that m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. As the perfectly inelastic collision is there, they will join after the collision. So v1 is equal to v2, so it will become m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 plus m2 in combinedly multiplied by v. So the value of v is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 divided by m1 plus m2. So we are going to find out how much energy getting lost. So total initial kinetic energy minus total final kinetic energy will have half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square minus half m1 plus into bracket ko v square multiply. Just solid. Half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square minus half m1 plus m2. Let's place the value of v over here, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 divided by m1 plus m2 bracket square. So you'll get half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square minus half. Now m1 m2 square यहाँ नीचे आ जाएगा, एक m1 plus m2 will get cancelled. So half m1 u1 plus m2 u2 whole bracket square divided by remaining one term m1 plus m2. Let's simplify this term and you'll get change in kinetic energy or loss of kinetic energy is equal to half m1 plus half m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into bracket u1 minus u2 whole bracket square. Masses are positive, change in energy is positive, so there is always a loss of kinetic energy in a perfectly inelastic collision with this value. Try to solve this. You'll get the value of change in kinetic energy as the lost energy value. So this is all about today's lecture. We had enough discussion on work done by a variable force. We discussed about work energy theorem. Then we had discussion on conservation of linear momentum law, then free body diagrams, then their equations, then collision, elastic, inelastic, perfectly inelastic, head-on, then coefficient of restitution and their values for different conditions. I hope you understood everything. In next lecture, we try to finish this chapter. Till that, just go through these all derivations again, which are very, very important because of this chapter is there for 10 marks in your paper.